This is a round I had a little while ago, and Notser actually wound up being on the other team. And it's always fun when you wind up in a round with another community contributor, whether they're on your team or whether they're on the other team. When they're on your team, there's kind of this sense that we're invincible, and your own team's excited because they think that you guys are going to do really, really good, and that doesn't really always happen with us. We have our good games and we have our bad games. And then, of course, in a round like this, when another CC's on the opposite team, you've kind of got the battle of the CC's, which turns into a lot of fun as well. So this round I was in a Hakuryu, and for me, it was kind of unfortunate because I was playing in a ship that I'm not very comfortable with. This was only my second round in the Hakuryu, and I was still getting used to its attributes and its torp drops, which are significantly different than the Midway's torp drops. If any of you all have played both ships, you definitely know this. In my opinion, Midway has a lot more favorable torp drops. I just feel a lot more comfortable with the Midway. However, the Hack has very good dive bombers, and I really am starting to see the full potential of the dive bombers on the Hakuryu. So I started off with my fighters as usual, did some spotting, and you see right here I get a pretty good hit in on the Z-52, 4,000 damage. He just kind of did that little straight line sail, and my vector was very good, and my planes were shortly melted right after that. They're gone. They just did not survive, and that's one of my big gripes right now with high tier carrier gameplay. The fighters, or the attack aircraft as they are just very, very weak. So after that, I switch things up and I move on to the dive bombers, and right now I'm very, very quickly starting to see the way things are playing out. The majority of our force is moving to the western side of the map, which kind of concerns me right now because our right side is looking very, very weak. I'm taking my dive bombers up right now. I'm going to look for any target that I can that's just kind of out in the open that I can capitalize off of. And right now it looks like it's going to be that Bismarck. You can see a Musashi over here to the right. Most of the ships are spotted right now, so I've got a pretty wide open approach right now to this Bismarck, and I'm just making sure I want to stay away from that tight grouping to the right, and I think that's where Notser is hanging right now. And you can see right now I'm going to do my first attack on this Bismarck. Down I go. I kind of overshot him a little bit, but still managed to pull a Citadel off on it, so not bad at all. So what I kind of want to go over in this video is just how if you know someone on the other team is really good, they should be your target. Your sole focus should be eliminating that player. And you can see I'm lining up for my attack run on Notser. He's giving me a very, very juicy look right here. And here I go for the drop, and this is just a textbook dive bomb run right here, and boom, there's a Citadel on him, 8,500 damage. Of course, it led me into some other ships that I'm probably not going to survive, even though I effed back to the ship. So the thing about when you know a player is good on the other team, you need to work to eliminate them. And in this case, I know Notser is a good player. And you can see that I got an attack off on him right there. I'm already starting to kind of work him as I can, but I can't focus on him solely. And then you can see on the mini-map right now, we've got two main groups. We've got one to the left. I'm not too worried about them. They've got a Tashkent and some other good ships over there. Shimakaze, too, actually. So I think they can handle what's going on over there. The right side of the map's kind of what's worrying me right now. I've got Notser on that side. Got a bunch of other ships, a bunch of powerful ships. We've only got a Baltimore. This Richelieu's in trouble. Their Bismarck's pushing. They're all pushing. So I'm focusing my Hakuryu on the right-hand side of the map. And I'm kind of neglecting Notser. I know he's out there. I've done a little damage on him. I'm going to try some torpedo drops on him. But the problem for me is I'm playing a ship I'm not familiar with. And I'm not very familiar with the Hawk's torpedo drop pattern. And I am not having a good time with it. I'm completely botching it. I'm not leading enough. And for those of you that have played the Midway, you know, you can pretty much drop right on a ship in the midway. And that's not really the case with the torpedo bombers here. So I get my drop in on Notser, and he's going to avoid these. I'm going to try and circle back and get him again, and if I was in a midway, I might have been able to pull this off, but foolishly, I just pulled way too early and sailed harmlessly over top of him. So when you're in a situation like this, knowing your ship is very, very important, and I don't know my ship right now, so that puts me at a disadvantage against another good player, and it's not helping the team out. So that run against Notser amounted to absolutely nothing, and now I got to focus on what's happening on the right-hand side. They're still pushing, and I still need to watch out for that. Notser is fairly safe. He's playing the back of the map fairly smart, so he knows what he's doing right now, and he's slowly, you're going to see him creep up in his kills in this round, and you can see what's going on right here. Hack just got super nerfed, right? And it did, and I didn't play it once before the nerf, and when I heard that it was having the F spam issue, I made a conscious decision not to play it, just because I didn't want to flood the queues with a overpowered ship that had issues. So maybe I should have, might have learned the torpedoes a little better, but I didn't. So back to dive bombing right now, and really that's all I'm going to be effective with this round for the most part, just because I'm so uncomfortable with the torpedoes. They're pushing up right now. I can see Notser in the background, but this Bismarck is really close, and I kind of want to repel him right now. I want to make sure that he doesn't push any further, and you can see he's backing up, and he's giving me that very nice profile right here where I can get my bombs just aligned on him perfectly, and there we go with the Citadel right there. Would like a double Citadel, and gonna kind of daisy chain it right here. Notser just kind of presented himself, so I'm gonna see if I can get a 2-for-1 special on this, and not the perfect angle on it. I'm going to drop my bombs right there and miss him, but I haven't had a lot of planes shot down, so I'm going to circle back around and see if I can get another pass on him. And he's actually turning into me right now, which kind of works to my advantage. So here I go. I start my run. This is what you want to see right here. Perfect alignment. I'm going to drop, and there's a Citadel. So I'm definitely getting some damage on him, but it's not continual damage, and I can't focus on him completely. If you look right now, you can see that the right side is pretty much completely caving. Richelieu is almost gone. He's going to be done here in a second. Musashi's pushing. You've got Notser back there, which is a definite threat right now. This Yamato on my team's in the back right now with this Moskva, and they're kind of hanging out close to me, but they're not up doing any damage up front and up close, stopping that attack. So really right now, the way I felt during this round, it was up to me to kind of stem the tide over here and stop them from pushing any further. So I'm up again with my torpedo bombers. I would like to be attacking Notser, as right now I view him as the #1 threat on their team. He's already got 2 kills, and really our team should be focusing him right now. He should be our priority. The #1 threat on the enemy team should always be the priority. You should be focus firing them. You should be doing everything you can to eliminate that one player. And we just can't do it. And part of it's because Notser's playing very smart in this round. He's in the back. He knows that I'm probably going to be targeting him in my aircraft carrier, so he's not going to venture too far forward. He's going to stay kind of close to that midway. He's going to stay behind his anti-aircraft ships, which is just very, very smart. Musashi here has kind of beached himself, pulled a tactical Notser, for lack of a better word. There you go, Notser. And I'm going to drop on him, and again, I thought I was getting a good drop here, but I just don't know my torpedo bombers on this aircraft carrier that well yet, and they're not going to survive the follow-through right here. I've put all my health onto the dive bombers on this ship because I want them to be the ones that survive, because I view them as the strong point of this ship right now. And I got 1 torpedo hit, no flood, unfortunately. I've only landed 1 torpedo this entire round. I've got some pretty good dive bombs in, but just the torpedoes aren't working for me. So I'm going to put them back up in the air, and by now the right side has completely caved. The left side's looking pretty strong up until the point that Mogami just went down. Our Shimikazes have made it through. They're swarming in Montana right now, so I really haven't been paying attention to the left side whatsoever. It's just solely been this right-hand side because that's where the threat is. I've got Notser in my sights right now, and I still want to focus on him, but you can see me veer away right now. A, because that Grozovoy is throwing up some pretty strong AA in my direction, but B, there's just a lot of ships over here pushing, and my survival right now is dependent on me being able to stop these ships, so I'm going to focus this Musashi and see if I can get some good damage in on him. Again, textbook dive bombing run right here, lined up perfectly, and there's a Citadel right there. Nice hit, but at this point I gotta run. I gotta get out of here. This Yamato has pushed from the right side. He's moving on to the left now, kind of away. Throwing my torpedo bombers up in the air again, and I'm gonna see if I can take this out. And again, this is allowing Notser to do what he's doing right now. He's in the back, just unchallenged, and now he has 3 kills. And this isn't looking good right now. I've got a Musashi bearing down on me. I've got a Hipper bearing down on me. And I'm in a ship that I'm not very comfortable in whatsoever. Second round in it, so the fact that I've done even this much damage has surprised me. Just not very comfortable with the torpedo bombers yet. But still, though I'm not accurate with them, I'm still going to drop them because I know if I do that, I can maybe persuade these ships from coming close, or I can at least, at the very least, get them to turn away from me. So my priority now has shifted from harassing Notser to pure survival and just getting to that right flank. And there's a torpedo hit right there. I think that was on the Hipper possibly, but my sole goal right now is to get to that right side. And of course I'm launching fighters now because there's a couple DDs swarming around here, and again, getting them spotted is part of survival right now. I'm in full-on survival mode. You know, it's a close round ship-wise. They're definitely winning in the points, so this battle is going to be won, in my opinion, at this point, on whoever sinks the entire enemy team first. It really looks like it's going to be like that. Good run right there. Not very good damage, unfortunately, and again, that's the issue with attack bombers, so I'm just going to try and keep this guy lit. The Moskva's right over there. I'm hoping that the Moskva comes around this corner and starts firing at him. But he's not moving quick enough. And I'm getting torn apart by this Grozovoy because it's got very good AA. It's one of those destroyers that has stout AA, and you got to be careful around it. And you can see the Musashi up there. He is pushing very close to me. Z-52's over here as well. Did I call it the Grozovoy? Is that the right... That's a gun from PUBG, isn't it? I don't know. Anyhow, there's some good damage on that Zed right there. 5,000 damage. I'm going to F back to the ship because that Musashi's getting close, and I want to launch some things that can actually do some damage on him. And unfortunately, in this time, I know Notser's still back there. He is constantly at the forefront of my thoughts right now because I know he's back there. I know he's a threat. I know he's just kind of running amok right now. He's got 4 kills now. Another ship on their team has 4 kills. Our Yami's up to 3 kills, which is nice. He's and look what he did to that Musashi right there. Very, very nice. So I'm kind of glad at this point he stayed back here on my side. I have no issues with that right now. He probably saved my life right there, because if he had made it past, I would have been toast. Now I want to make my way over to the Hipper and stop him. He's the only other threat on this side, but you can see on the mini-map at the top of that map, Notser's up there attacking that Shimikaze. And I can't help up there because I'm still trying to protect myself. We really have not recovered since that right flank collapsed, and I'm not in an attack pattern I like right here. I just did not get a good angle, and I kind of took what I could right there, which it wasn't optimal, but sometimes you do what you can, and sometimes it works out. I'm going to get moving again because things have kind of stopped right here, and I really hate the autopilot on these ships, but that's a whole nother issue. I'm going to throw my torpedo bombers up. Right now, the game is almost over. I mean, really, we just got put in a bad spot on that right flank. The majority of our team was on the left. We didn't completely lemming train, but I wish I could have devoted more time to taking out Notser. And maybe I could have ignored the right flank and just solely focused on him, made his life miserable, and if not sink him, just make it so he couldn't do anything. And yeah, I got some attacks in on him, and you can see he just wrecked that Shimikaze right there, which is not going to be good for us. I mean, I got some good hits on him. I might be the only one that got any hits on him, or any significant hits, but it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to hinder his gameplay, and now he's going to go into the smoke, so my only recourse right now is to just kind of make a lucky guess and hope that something hits. So I'm going to drop these torps regardless, and that leaves me with one plane, which, yeah, I can't do anything right now. He's all the way to the back, so it's taking my planes forever to get there. They've got 2 ships left. They've got a massive point lead. And we didn't do what we should have done. And the whole point to this, again, is... And there's the double Kraken. So very, very nice right there. Well played by the Yamato. But the whole point of this is, again, if you know there's a threat on the enemy team, whether it be a CC or just a player you know by reputation, you have to make them the priority. You cannot let them go the entire round the way that we, and the way that I especially let Notser go. Had I been able to focus him and harass him longer in the beginning, we might not have wound up in the position we were in right now. So that, coupled with not knowing how to play the Hakuryu at this point, didn't really help me. So in many ways, I kind of blame this loss on myself. I do feel that I should have played smarter, if not better. I'm not very happy about my torpedo hits right here, and that's kind of poor for a Hawk. But again, second time in this ship. Right now, we're running out of time. There's not much I can do. I'm just going to see if I can maybe get a lucky detonation on Notser, but it's just not going to happen. I'm going to line up and try and get some drops in on him, and here we are. Not the optimal drop path, but it might work out, and there we go. There's another Citadel on him, but at this point it's too little too late. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you know there's a good player on the other team, you have got to focus them. You got to make them the priority. You cannot let them do what we let Notser do in this round. And good round, Notser. You definitely had me beat. Maybe if I was in a Montana or something else, it might have been different, but it is what it is. There's the final score. Notser, again, very good round, 2,400 base. I wound up in third on my team. Still, wish it could have been better, but it is what it is. Focus the best player, take them out, and I'll catch you all later. Zoop out.